o'clock, and to call the village board meeting to order. We say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please have all cell phones silenced during the meeting. Announcement. The village board will convene in a closed session under state statutes 1985 1C for the purpose of considering performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the government body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. Village administrators review. Item 5 is another announcement. The board will convene in a closed session under state statutes 1985 1E for the purpose of deliberating and negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specific public business whenever competitive bargaining reasons require closed sessions. Some memorandum of understandings with the WPPA regarding lateral hiring and review of wages following completion of the compensation study. Item 6, I look for an approval of the agenda.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item 7, presentation by Site Nights of New Glarus Middle School Club. And who would like to speak on their behalf?
I'll speak at first just to get it started. My name is Eric Morendi, and this is Rick Bloomer. We're the coaches for the 7th grade Robo Knights team. This year they call each team, we have 4 teams, they call themselves the Site Knights of the 4. We're in the first LEGO League Robotics. There's a competition we have every year. And it's part of it is robotics. So you build a robot out of Legos and it has to compete and do some challenges and missions. But the majority of it is about projects. It's usually some sort of an engineering project. This year it was specifically find a problem in your city or town that you would like to solve, right? And it was very open-ended this year, so we really struggled trying to come up with something. But part of the project is we need to go out and speak to people in the community or relating to the project, speak to them, get feedback, learn from that. So we're looking for tonight is they'll go through their presentation, kind of describe what their idea is, what their problem is. They should be able to state that and go through what their solution is to it. And we're just looking for any feedback, good, bad, whatever, stuff that we can take. We compete. We made it through regionals. We go to sectionals January 5th. So any feedback we can get to take and improve our project, or even to take and say, hey, you know, we came in up there's this big roadblock that we're still trying to solve, right? So any information that we can get would be helpful. So for that, I'll let them. The whole thing should take no less than 10 minutes. Like the presentation is less than 5 minutes, and the normal judging session would be 5 minutes. So hopefully this will be quick. Okay. Just stay on the one side of the board.
Hi, I'm Elena.
I'm Julia.
I'm Elena.
I'm Amalia.
And Harold.
I'm Chase.
And I'm Leah. We're the Site Knights from New Glarus School District.
This project was difficult for our team because we live in a village, not a city.
But after some consideration, we made it around that corner and innovated by inventing a new way to provide energy for our town's pool and teach kids how energy works in a new and fun way. We chose the pool because we all love to swim in the pool during the summer, and it's one of the largest energy consumers in our town.
We wanted to do a project involving energy. While looking for buildings that use a lot of energy in our town, like the pool, we also came across the fun loss of activities for kids. Many of these activities have been removed, including the bowling alley, the fitness center, and the dance studio.
Our building has 3 parts: a ground with a wind kite, a rooftop with 12 solar panels, and a building set with different fun activities, and including a bike race and woodworking shop with energy-efficient materials to save as much energy as possible. So that way, when we use the energy-efficient materials, it does not add to the original energy cost, and when we burn the scraps for wood, it will create more energy.
In an average year, our town's public pools will run about $8,617. This includes pools, heat, pump, and generator. So we created a solution where kids can have fun and our pool can decrease energy expenses.
Our building is called the Fun House. It is full of fun activities and tasks to get kids moving while also making energy and having a place to learn, including a child-sized hamster wheel. We want the Fun House to be affordable so we aren't charging too much money. About $2 for kids and under 12 and any child older and adults are $30.
The child-sized hamster wheel was suggested by Elena's 7-year-old sister, who volunteered to run on it for an hour each day in return for a candy bar. Near each activity, there would be a plaque explaining how it creates electricity and how much it can make on an average day.
To pay for the building, we would plan multiple fundraisers like a fun run. And once the building was built, we would add more solar panels than needed to make more energy than needed. That way, when we give the power company back the energy, we would earn money, which would pay for bills and give the workers their wages.
We shared our idea with a teacher. She's also head of the pool. She found the information, like the cost of the energy, we needed for our project.
Thank you for watching our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it.
And then you can ask any questions.
So when you say a building, where would you build a building?
We were actually thinking of renting a building and then buying one later.
Here in the village?
Yeah.
And in that would be things that would generate electricity, is that my understanding? Like a hamster wheel, I see, and then like, is that a bike that you would like ride and that would
I
create
think it's the
electricity?
plan for the hamster wheel.
Yeah, so if we show the picture, Harold, that's a normal bike, but we'd get a more advanced one later, but to start out, we'd probably get one of those where you just kind of set it up there and then the wheel spins that thing, which creates energy.
Oh, okay.
The little, like,
So they can ride their bikes up to the station, crank it in and crank out some energy for the pool?
we
Okay.
probably have bikes there, but yeah, they could probably bring their own bikes too.
Okay. And then the solar panels. All right, and you put those on a rented building, or are you waiting for you to look at
We'd probably wait until we had a building that we were going to be in for
Extended, like a long time.
yeah.
I guess, like when if we were going to buy the building,
Mm-hmm.
we would rent it.
Have you ever thought about just doing it like in the park for the summer? You know, like just on the side of the pool or something by the pool or something like that?
You could probably do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have not thought about doing that, but that's.
Okay, it was just an idea.
What's the idea with the water there? Is there a windmill there? I think
It's a wind kite.
a wind kite.
So the idea with that is that it takes up less ground space, because then it's just the small base, and then it has a tether that connects to that small glider thing, that glider.
It's basically a windmill in the air.
Yeah, and the glider has
Okay.
mini wind
So
turbines on
that's
it.
got the turbo. Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be over water.
No, it does not have to be over water.
And then any other questions?
I wonder what your flowers were symbolizing.
The flowers are for the garden, which have the wind kite, and, yeah, we were thinking of doing a windmill, but
But then decided to save ground space
Yeah.
with. So it would be like a grown garden and we'd have yoga classes there. and
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And where are you going to give this presentation next?
Watertown.
Where is that?
Watertown.
Watertown? Okay.
Yes.
Just a little constructive criticism, if I may. Speak more slower and louder, project your voice. Because there were a few times I was struggling. And I'm an old guy, so my hearing isn't that good anyway, but. What? All in all, very well done.
Neat exhibits. Very cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
neat idea.
thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
Never gonna sneak out, so you guys.
Oh, that's
Be
right.
less distracted.
Let's hope there's some actual ideas.
That'd be fun to put an hamster wheel out there and run around in the park. You put that right back for them, inject the energy right in. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, item 8, public appearances and citizen comments. Voting being approved with more than items introduced by citizens. Items will not be added upon this meeting, but will be referred to the proper staff or committee if action is required. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to speak? Okay, moving on. Look for approval of the consent agenda.
I would just ask for a correction on the building inspector report that the locations be turned around. They were inverted. So with that correction, I would second the motion.
Does everybody see what Paige was talking about?
Well, I see that there's an order, but why would one,
It says that there's a $4.6 million project going on at 206th Avenue.
Oh,
And that's-
oh, I see, it's vice versa. Okay, got it, got it.
Good catch, I did not know.
Yeah.
I was excited. There was something else going on.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 10, consideration and discussion, permanent use of community room kitchen for Meals on Wheels from 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, and waiver of daily fee of $20. I guess
Is,
We used to have it, didn't we? Or no?
sure,
Lynn did say that Meals on Wheels did used to operate out of this facility. So essentially, they're looking for a new place to conduct their Meals on Wheels out of from 11 to 11:30. They would be utilizing the kitchen. Staff didn't feel comfortable essentially allowing someone to use it, have a permanent use of a public facility without the village board weighing in. This would be ongoing without no end in sight. So some of the things that we would have to work out is key distribution, since different people are dropping off the food and picking up the food. They would be leaving things in there, so it'd have to be understood that the village cannot guarantee the security of any items that are left in there, as it is a public rental facility. So if there are items left in there permanently, in the freezer or anything like that, and someone rents it and something happens to it, we can't obviously guarantee that thing won't go missing.
How would that work too? How often do we have Monday through Friday rentals?
We checked with the library, who's our largest user, and they said they'd be able to work around it. It's just the kitchen,
Right.
the kitchen area, so the community
For
room
half an hour.
would remain.
Just a half an hour, so
Yeah.
it's bringing the food and then getting it out to the drivers,
Correct.
that they come.
That's my understanding.
So it's more like a distribution, they're not using appliances or?
they don't prepare it here.
No, it's prepared.
Are you with that?
I am, yes, I'm with ADRC.
Good.
Oh, okay.
What we would be doing is, and I did it on Monday, and then my supervisor did it today, and it really only takes not even 10 minutes. It really depends on when the volunteer gets here. But what it would be is the meals are already pre-packaged. We do that out of Pleasant View Nursing Home. They're our major provider in the county. We would transport them up here, do a handoff in the kitchen. We just need a place to be able to wash our hands and do some temperature taking to ensure that the quality of the food is where it needs to be, and then hand it off.
when the bags returned, they would be kept somewhere in a corner. And we do know that, yes, it would be ensured that it would be not possibly stolen. We do something almost identical to this in Albany at their Village Hall / EMS building. And it's been going for 2 years like that, and we've not had any issues, and it seems to work really well. Our staff would be the ones bringing it up, and then the volunteers we have in here in New Glarus have been volunteering with us for a long time, so they are also know what's going on and able to handle this.
And what were you distributing prior?
New Glarus Nursing Home.
So if somebody were to rent it for a family reunion or something like that, they would have the understanding that you would be there, would you be able to work around?
Definitely. I mean, we know, I think when I talk to something about maybe voting, or I understand that that space is a public space. We would, if we knew ahead of time, we could find a different place to go, or if that party was okay with us coming in for 10 minutes and sneaking out the side, I mean, it wouldn't be anything of causing a scene by any means.
Just out of curiosity, you were working up at, you were handing out at the home now? What happened?
We made some changes with how we are running our program, and like I said, Pleasant View does 85 to 90% of our meals throughout the county, and just to have some consistency and make it easier on ourselves, and just making some changes with how we do the meals here in Glarus.
My own thought is even 10, 15 minutes is not going to be an issue.
Sounds fine.
So your main concern maybe is key distribution? I mean, you guys are probably gonna deal with it more than the rest of us, so.
Right, we'll work a lot of it out at the staff level, but it's just ensuring that there's not any burden, consistent burden placed on village staff to be letting them in and out.
Right.
Making sure that they have everything they need to be self-sufficient in their operations.
And we would, the key would be distributed, only passed off between whoever is driving, and I would have that schedule and could share that and names of the people who would have access to that key. And I could provide the volunteer information too, if you'd like to know who's coming in and out of the building those days.
Is there any concern about, does the key that opens that open anything of any?
No, we just open the kitchen.
Okay, that's, yeah, okay.
And is this contractual, or is it just a proposal?
I believe we do have a use policy that would have to be abided by, but it's nothing all too formal.
So would you be entering from that back door or from the front door?
I think that's something we'd have to figure out. Entering from the back seemed to work because we didn't have to come through, but we are okay with whatever is the least invasive to everyone.
Okay.
So do you require a motion? Is that what you're looking for, to approve this?
Yeah, I think we appreciate a motion for this one.
I know it says, consideration of permanent use. I would love to just, say at least set it up for 1 year, make sure that there's no hindrances that we have throughout this 1 year, and then we'll revisit it once again here after a year, and then, just kind of refresh it type thing.
Sure.
That way it is, if it is kind of like a verbal contract that we're kind of doing here right now, I don't want to say forever and ever and ever for until this building is destroyed. Let's just kind of cover our butts that way.
So
Year to year.
what if
Makes
I
sense.
make a motion to give permission to Meals on Wheels to go ahead and use the facility between 11 and 11:30, Monday through Friday, with a waiver of the fee, and it will be revisited 1 year from now, and staff will work out fees and access.
I would second that.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11, Public Works. Consideration discussion, wastewater utility rate case.
During the funding discussions for the Third Avenue project, if you recall, when Ellers was in for the borrowing, they indicated the wastewater utility was generating insufficient revenue. And for that reason, they weren't able to issue revenue bonds for that portion of the project from the utility. village staff reached out to its treatment plant engineer, Strand and Associates, who also conducts rate studies. Cost of the service is $14,500. The Public Works and Public Safety Committee recommended approval. And the village has full control over these rates, so wastewater does not require any PSC approval process. So we would go through this, they would complete their report for what their recommended rates would be, and then the village board at that time would approve the rates as presented, approve a different rate structure at the time of the completion. It takes a few months to do, so it's still going to be early 2020 it will be completed, and then the village board can implement following that. So this will be the first of probably in a few rate cases that you'll see. We'll have an electric one later on, and then we'll probably have simplified water in the future as well.
When was the last time our wastewater utility rate case was done? You know?
Joe, do you know the answer to that?
I think one was done, I know one rate cut case was done in 2006, something like that.
I wouldn't doubt that, Joe.
Greater than 10 years ago?
Water was the most recent. Water was the most recent.
Yeah, water was the most recent. That was like a year ago, 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I think, before I got it.
How often are those typically done?
Whenever you're not.
Whenever you're not.
It's a good idea to do them on a semi-regular basis, just to avoid significant increases at the time. So we're probably overdue for one. The reason you do them more regularly is to avoid steep increases to the
Right,
rates.
so I got confused. Someone did say that we currently are out of line.
Ellers was unwilling to issue revenue bonds from the wastewater utility because of the rates, because of the revenue it was generating. So they thought it was insufficient for us to be competitive in selling revenue bonds, which indicates that it's not adequately covering its costs.
And are we trying to sell them on that? I thought we were doing that on the electrical. We're trying to do it on this too, on this.
Whenever, like when you do a street project and utility is part of
So like the
that.
one we just did?
So instead of being able to do revenue bonds that are covered by the utility, the village had to issue general obligation debt to cover
So
those
that
costs.
was okay.
Whereas the electric and water utilities were able to issue revenue bonds to pay for that portion of
That, I'm just getting confused because this is a third section, okay, all right.
It's an inevitable.
Right. No, I just want to understand it, okay, thank you.
I would move to go ahead with task order 19-01.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item B, consideration discussion, authorization to bid electrical systems improvement.
This is a simple authorization for staff to bid the phase 1 construction. So this is the project that consists of constructing overhead and underground distribution line, pad-mounted equipment installation and voltage conversion from 4,160 volts to 12,470 volts. So we completed the engineering for that. Forrester Engineering is doing that work for us. They put together the bid documents and we are ready to bid and just seeking authorization from the board to do so.
I move approval to authorize the bid for electrical systems improvements.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Do you want to put these two things in here? Or what's in that?
We can flip them. I imagine we'll do that one first. So once we're going to closed session, we can.
Because we got two closed sessions and one of them involves the WPPA and they're here. I think I'd like to do item 13 first, and then they can leave. Otherwise, when we go into closed session for the evaluation, they're gonna have to leave. So.
Kick us out, Roger?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if the board is okay, do we need a motion to change that?
No, you don't need a motion to change it, just unanimous consent and then.
Okay.
No one
Is the board
objects.
okay with that?
I'm fine.
Okay. So we'll go to item 13, closed session consideration proposed memorandum of understanding with WPTA regarding lateral hiring and review of wages following completion of compensation study. Yes, thanks, Joe.
Motion to close session.
Oh, you need a motion to go into closed session?
Motion to close session.
Second.
Okay, roll call, right? Okay.
Michael Bell,
Yes.
Michael Bancher,
Yes.
Peggy Curtis,
Yes.
Tammy Newberry,
Yes.
Chuck Phillipson,
Yes.
Peter Strike,
Yes.
Brenda
Yes,
Trutman.
okay, we're in closed session. Do you have anything in, do you see anything about this? That we can,
I forgot to ask Lynn this question beforehand, if you approve them, do you approve them by motion in the past evaluations? I know we approved Joe's by, so you certainly can make a motion to accept the evaluation.
I would certainly make a motion.
Okay. You make a motion, do we have a second?
Okay.
Okay.
Sure,
Okay.
I will.
I thought we did.
More discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Do you have anything on the administrative?
I would just ask for a motion to approve the two memorandums of
Right.
understanding.
Yeah.
I so moved.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, okay.
I'll second.
Okay.
Did we have a second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And no, I have nothing to report.
Drake is gonna be gone for the next 2 weeks, vacationing. He's gonna have his phone, we'll make sure he's got his phone. He's using up his vacation. So, he won't be here to get the agendas ready. Would the board be opposed to not having a meeting on 1/7/20, the first meeting in January? Not having a meeting?
Are there any, is there anything outstanding right now that we should be overly concerned about? I mean, I think we have the electrical stuff kind of
Everything's
settled.
pretty under.
The WHO stuff is kind of settled, the library stuff is kind of, I mean, like all the really big items, the budget's settled.
Yeah, we don't have anything pressing that would require a meeting at this time on our radar.
So then do we need to make a motion to go ahead and?
I wouldn't, since it's not listed.
Okay.
We just would announce the cancellation via social media and website.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Good.
Just as a point, I'm gonna be gone the 21st of January.
Okay.
I'll be on vacation. Forest Lawn.
Forrest?
Yeah, I gotta go out and see my two sister-in-laws with my wife.
Okay. So that's all I
I
have.
like my sister.
Any more business? Hearing none, we are adjourned.